So I wanted to talk with you today about positive speaking. So many of you have your children going back to school, whether it be virtual, kind of hybrid, or in person, whatever's happening. There are a lot of changes. And these changes are new for them as well as for you. So what I want to talk today about is positive speaking. Transitioning into this like back to school situation. And not only for this for back to school, but just in general about speaking positively to your children, pouring into them, just the way that we use our words, understanding that it has an impact on them, from their self-esteem, just to the way that they handle situations, the way that they respond to things. All this is important when it comes to the way that we speak. So I just have a few things I want to lay out for you or talk through, give you some pointers on this. By no means am I telling anyone how to parent or that they're doing anything wrong or how to any of that stuff. So let's just start with that. But more of giving you just a couple of things and a little bit of insight on the power of your words that it has on them and the impact that it has. I often, have clients that I talk to, and some of the first things I ask them about is like, who poured into you? Who spoke positively to you? Who helped build your self-esteem? Who helped build you so that you were grounded and secure in yourself? And sometimes, a lot of times, there wasn't anybody that did that. And so I think it's so important because when we don't do that and we miss that part with them, then they, basically become adults that aren't able to articulate their feelings or aren't able to talk through situations. And this isn't always the case. It's not. But often it is the case. So a couple of things I want to talk through. The first thing is like when we're telling them to like calm down, right? If they're frustrated, if they can't get online or something's happening, instead of saying like calm down, just ask them like, how can I help you? It's just simply the calm down is like, breathe, but then it doesn't offer like I'm here to help you. So then it's like, how can I help you, instead of telling them to calm down? Stop crying. It's like, I can see this is hard for you. The stop crying is like, I'm ignoring this emotion. Your cry, there's a reason why that cry is present. And so what happens is that when we say that, we stop crying, but then there's nothing else behind that. We basically, one, we tell them it's not okay to cry, but also we don't acknowledge like you're reaching out to me. Your cry means something. And so saying, I can see this is hard for you, or tell me what's happening. Why are you crying? But in a way of like, I really want to know, instead of more of a frustrated way. And when you tell them, you're okay. No, ask them, are you okay? You know how we'll kind of dismiss if something happens to them and you're like, you're okay. You're like, you're fine. But ask them, are you okay? Are you really okay? Because, and for us, it's like, yeah, they're fine. But let them know, like, I'm asking you, are you okay? In your mind, you could think, yeah, they're perfectly fine. But to them, it's dismissive. It's not asking me, am I okay? And again, I know that some of you might say, well, they're kids. Yes, but they are people. They are little people that are still developing and learning things, and they're relying on us to help them through these things. When you say, be quiet, stop yelling, can you use a softer voice? What's happening? Again, these are often signs of things, right? They're trying to tell us something. So we have to acknowledge that they're trying to tell us something. Maybe little kids, right? When they're like, when we tell them sometimes like, don't hit. Instead of that, be gentle. Because sometimes they're just playing and they have to learn that they're rough. So more of a be gentle, because the don't hit kind of automatically makes them feel like they're doing something wrong, or we have to acknowledge that there are times where they actually are hitting, but times where they're actually not, and they're more so playing. But then we have to like let them know, kind of help them to decide like, this is more be gentle versus like when I will actually tell you not to hit because you're being aggressive, and that's a whole different thing. When you say like, tell them stop yelling, right? Take a deep breath and tell me what happened. The yelling is coming from, there's a reason, there's frustration. Breathe and tell me what's up. You're telling them to breathe and then tell me what happened is like, that's you're calming them down, and then you're giving them the space to tell you what's wrong, to tell you what happened. Where you tell them, I don't know, you could tell them that they're not doing something right. Instead of kind of focusing on they're not doing something right, say, I think there's another way to do it. Or here's the way you should do it. Or you did great with this, but then follow it up with whatever they're doing wrong. Again, it's acknowledging that they're doing something, they're not doing it right, but then also we're trying to give them a little bit of encouragement. I'm here for you. What do you need? Do you need a hug? I see you're upset. Again, offering up more of room and space for your kids to be able to talk through how they're feeling, they're frustrated. I think we forget that they need to be able to do that. They need to be able to articulate that. We have to teach them how to say how they feel, how to say what's happening with them. We have to, in previous videos, I talked about holding space for family, for friends, for people who are talking through things. Well, your kids are just as important. We have to create an atmosphere that is welcoming to their feelings and what's happening with them, and then helping them process it. Again, it's I think when we think about it in that way, a lot of people may have some negative feedback of what, they should just do this and do that. Yeah, but we're teaching them the process. I didn't say that they were right in whatever got them in trouble or what they were doing. I said it's about delivery, and it's about how you say it to them and your word choice. That's the stuff that sticks with them the longest. How you made them feel, the words that you use, those things have a positive impact on them. So as we are going into this kind of new normal, or whatever that looks like for many of you with school, just remember that if your kid learning style is definitely more classroom, more hands-on, more one-on-one based, they're going to have some difficulties. You're going to need a little bit of patience and a little bit of grace to get them through that. Parents, be patient with yourself. A lot of you, this is new to you too. You're trying to multitask. You're trying to work and then be the teacher and then do other things, or just make sure your kid is learning and not missing certain things. Be patient and give yourself a little bit of grace with that too. But I think the biggest thing is you set the atmosphere. You set the tone for the energy. And so when we have our moments of frustration, it's about how do we recover those moments. Again, they will happen. I'm not saying they won't happen, but it's about how you recover them. What do you say after the fact? How do you open up space for your kids to say how they truly feel about things, how they're sad about something, how they're concerned about something? They have those fears too. Open up that space for them to be able to say that, welcome that, and then help them process it. And if you don't know how to do it yourself, reach out to someone and say, hey, I'm struggling. I need to be able to learn how to process so that I can help my child. There's nothing wrong with that. So what we do, it spills over into them, right? So if you remember situations you were in as a child and you wish that maybe some things were done differently, these are your opportunities. This is your chance to pour into your child, your chance to change the narrative about how things are handled, how you speak to them. Because again, this all affects their self-esteem. It affects their view of themselves, like their view of their ability to do things. And so we just want to be more positive. We want to reframe things. We want to just change up the way that we would do some things. Again, because being more conscious and intentional about our words to them. We can't expect other people to pour in them if we don't pour into them. So I just want to leave that with you. I hope that you guys are having a great week. Those that are going back to school, I hope you guys do well and good luck with this academic school year. And to the parents, be patient with yourselves. Be patient with your children. Reach out. There are a lot of resources. Reach out for help. And but just know that no one knows this. No one knows how to do this the right way. And so I think that whatever style you use, whatever your choice is, that's what you decide is what's best for you. And so I think we have to also be better on not judging each other on whatever we chose, whatever our style is, but just give a little bit more grace. This is a time to be kind and give a little more grace to each other.